All right, in this video, I want to go over your HVAC gauges and what they mean. Let's get into it.
Mechanics for non-mechanics.
All right, so these are your gauges. Okay, you have a high side, which is red, and a low side, which is blue. High side, low side. The hoses, you have a high side hose, which is red, a low side hose, blue, and a basically middle hose that will go onto your bottle of Freon or a vacuum pump, etc. And then these actually open up the low side, open lefty-loosey, and close righty-tighty, or open up the high side, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. But I do not recommend anyone mess with these gauges unless you are an HVAC contractor or have your refrigerant certification and are able to legally work with these. Okay, I just want to explain some of what they are. All right, so again, this is your low side. Now, what do these colors mean? Okay, so you have a green color right there. Let me try and zoom in a little. The two we're gonna worry about is the pink one on the outside and the green one underneath that. The green one is for R22. You see right here, the green, it says R22, and the pink is for R410A. System started to, R22 is the older Freon. I say older, but now it's actually much older because they just came out with a new Freon this year, but that's for another day. R22 is the older Freon. 410A is the more recent Freon. So around, say, 2003, 4, 5, they switched over to R410A. So most systems after, say, 2003, 2004 use R410A. And they phased out R22, but there's still a lot of people who have R22 in their system for units before, say, 2003, 2004. Okay, so this is PSI, but it's actually PSIG. So when we read this back, like this is 50 PSIG, and the G just stands for gauge. It's on the gauge, okay? So PSIG. This is the gauge PSI. Yeah, these gauges are a little beat up, sorry. I do have some new ones in the car with the newer Freon, but you know what? I didn't get them. So this is what we got. Let's see if I can zoom in. All right, so generally, if you have an R22 system, your pressures are gonna, if the unit is operating good, your low side pressure is gonna be, say, between 60 to 70 PSIG on R22, the green, okay? Now, what is the saturation temperature at 60 PSIG? You notice at 60 PSIG, which is right here, the saturation temperature, which is the corresponding temperature, is, for R410A, it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit. But for R22, it's about 35 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The saturation temperature, if you don't know what that is, I'll make a video for it. Just click right over there. So when your saturation temperature, which is the corresponding temperature of the pressure in the system, gets below 32 degrees, the unit will start to freeze up, okay? So for R22, which is the green, you'll see 32 degrees saturation temperature is about 55 PSIG. So when it gets below 55 PSIG, this thing's gonna start freezing up. Now the R410A, which is probably what you have in your system, that temperature is a higher temperature, okay? So instead of being around 60 to 70, R410A for a healthy system is generally running between 125 and 150, although I've seen it around 115 and still okay. But you'll notice that the corresponding saturation temperature at 32 degrees right there is about 100 psig. So when it gets below 100 psig for R410A systems, it's going to start to freeze up. But generally, if it's operating good, like I said, for R22, it's between 60 and 70 psig. But I can see the comments in the comments section. I understand that it's not just based on pressure. Of course, you have to check the subcooling and the superheat and stuff. If you want to know how to check subcooling and superheat, let's see, check those videos there. Your high side, generally for R22 system, which is the green here, you're probably going to be, say, and if it's running good, say between 225 and say 275. You start getting over 300, you can start having some issues. Although I'm not saying that if it's at 300 that it's not operating, because sometimes that's the case. But if it starts getting higher than that, you got to clean your condenser coil. If you want to know how to clean your condenser coil, click on that video. And then for R410A systems, the pink, generally you're running, I don't know, say around 330 to 350. If you start going over 400-ish, again, you're having problems. So the R410A system is higher pressures. I think it's, if I remember right, 1.5 times higher than the R22, something like that. And that is your refrigeration gauges.